expectations are running really high right now in Honkai Impact since this may be the biggest patch we've seen so far in Part 2. Vita's Battlesuit and Herrscher of Finality's Divine Key will be releasing next patch, and Sparkle from Honkai Star Rail will be coming out the patch after. So the point of this video is to be covering the recent meta and my pull recommendations for the future patches. So Vita will be the first Valkyrie that we should be looking forward to because she will be the Valkyrie that is featured in 7.8. And she is looking to be a very strong support Valkyrie. And of course, just like any other Part 2 S-rank Valkyrie, she will also be a very decent DPS. However, her main draw definitely seems to be her supporting capabilities because she has built-in elemental and physical breach in her kit. Any veteran Honkai Impact player knows how important Breach is as a buff. If anyone doesn't know what Breach is essentially resistance shred. What makes Breach so important is that it's not diluted by other buffs. For example, if one of your support Valkyries is already giving you elemental damage bonus, and another Valkyrie gives you elemental damage bonus, those two bonuses will stack of course, but it is not as impactful as having one elemental damage buff as well as the resistance shred buff. Out of all the Part 2 Valkyries, she's the only one that provides a physical breach buff, as well as one of two Valkyries who provides an elemental breach buff, which makes her invaluable as a support to a lot of teams. I think both veterans and new players will see a lot of value from pulling Vita. My only real issue with Vita is that we already have two other Lightning Part 2 Valkyries, and she's going to be a third Part 2 Lightning Valkyrie when we still only have like one Ice, Physical, Fire Part 2 Valkyrie. So I can't say for sure that she'll be a dominant DPS like Thelema was on release. However, I can say for certain that she will just be a very strong Valkyrie in general. That being said though, she will probably be the DPS of choice next version for her patch. And so for her supports, she's going to be running Coralie and of course the Herrscher of Finality. I didn't think they'd do it, but they actually revived the Herrscher trio, and they did it in a spectacular way as well. So we're gonna get a new Stigmata set as well as a Divine Key weapon for the Herrscher Finality, and from how it looks so far, it seems to give her a new ultimate animation as well as an astral ring. The new Stigmata set seems to greatly buff the other teammates in the trio as well. Herrscher of Origin seems to be a very strong DPS now thanks to this new set. In fact, the buffs she gets from the 3-piece cannot be understated. These are some extremely strong buffs that will put her back in the meta again. And the Divine Key for the Herrscher Finality now makes her the best in slot support for the new Vita Battlesuit. Players can get the Herrscher Finality for free if you don't already own her by doing the crystal spending event next patch. You will have to spend about 40,000 crystals, I believe. But if you do spend enough to get her, then you should have to consider rolling for the new Divine Key and Stigmata set. Now, I do want to step on the brakes for a bit though. I want to keep you guys in mind that Divine Keys generally don't last in the meta for as long as entire S-rank battlesuits do, with the exception of the Herrscher Thunder's Divine Key. However, I do think the Herrscher Finality has a better chance of staying relevant because she's more of a support role for Vita currently, but I wouldn't bet too much money on the trio staying relevant as a whole. I thought I'd make a really quick touch on this. Basically, the Honkai Impact is giving away 20 free pulls towards Senadina, Thelema, or Lantern. You have to choose one of them. If after pulling for Vita and her gears, and then maybe Herrscher Finality's gears, you have excess crystals, and you don't really know for sure if you want Sparkle, or if you just have a lot of crystals left over, I'd say that one of these three Valkyries would be worth picking up if you're already missing them. However, I would not waste any additional crystals to get a rank up. Now let me make it clear for you guys though that this does not count towards your pity for the actual battlesuit supply itself. They will be in their own featured supply called the Fest supply. So please keep in mind that if you do decide to pull one of these Valkyries, it might take you an additional 70 pulls after these free 20 pulls are used. Now if you're missing like 2 or more and you don't know who to pull, my recommendation in order would be Thelema first, then Senadina, and then Lantern. I know people argue with me a lot over Thelema's usefulness over Senadina, but I stand by what I said. I think Thelema is still probably the best Valkyrie out of these three. I think in the current meta, Thelema sees slightly more usage than Senadina in most teams, and you can probably replace Senadina with Droid Deception if you do have her. That being said, if you like one of these Valkyries more than the other, then just pull for them, because I think all three of these Valkyries are still very good in the meta. Okay, so of course everyone is super hyped up for Sparkle, but unfortunately I can't speak too much about her because we still don't actually know much about her gameplay. However, what I can say for sure so far is that she will not be Vita's best support because her Astral Ring typing is actually World Star, which is different than Vita's. And then she will also most likely be very support oriented. The only reason why I think Sparkle will be a support is just because of her ultimate, where she seems to pick an ally and then it auto switches into them, and I'm assuming it probably buffs them. However, this could be another case of Aponia gameplay where she just switches into the ally but actually does a majority of the damage off field. However, I doubt she'll be a DPS because she's Quantum type, and we already had a Quantum type DPS come up really recently, which is, of course, Shixel's Imperative. I also just don't think they'd make her a Quantum DPS because Quantum DPSs tend to fall out of meta really fast because they only serve one niche, which is to fight Quantum bosses. And so my guess with her is that they're going to make her a support to make her long-lasting, because just like Fischl, they probably want to make their collaboration characters actually meta. So yeah, I think I've basically covered everything I need to know about the new battle suits that are coming out. We will get a lot of crystals because it's a CN anniversary patch. So basically, just pull for Vita. That's my main recommendation for now. And then the Herrscher of Finality Divine Key will be very strong, of course. But yeah, leave a like if you guys enjoyed this video and subscribe if it helped. I've been trying a new editing style, so do leave in the comments below if it was better or worse, or just give me any opinions. And yeah, thank you for watching.